Testing the mic. Cool. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on in the NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Cave City Sports Channel. The Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Look, play just went final. Um, I cautioned people. And I kept hearing some of the national media members, 97.3. I heard New Jersey Doc. I heard a lot of these guys who kept saying, like, oh, there was no way the Eagles could lose this game. You got to quit saying shit like that. That's not fucking true in the NFL. Anyone who knows football can look at Miami's roster and say its offensive line isn't ideal, but they have playmakers. They have a quarterback who's experienced. This kind of shit can happen. Because if you look at the rest of that schedule, there's only one other team that's going to match the offensive production of a team like Miami, and that's Dallas. The Giants aren't going to because they don't have the quarterback to match that. The Redskins certainly are not because their just whole team's not in that, they're not that type of mode. But it blows my mind that people were so goddamn cocky we could win this football game on the road against a guy who's kind of he's done this to us before. It's not like he hasn't tasted success against Philadelphia. I warned people that Devante Parker wasn't just a good football player, he was something special. I told people that Gesicki, the tight end, was way better than what people were giving him credit for. I'm going to be real with you. I think Gesicki from Miami, I think in the next year or two, you're going to start hearing those conversations where he starts getting put into conversations with players like Zach Ertz, Kittle from San Francisco, and then Kelsey from Kansas City. I don't think he's there yet, but he's that level of talent. I warn people, Allen Hurns, he's not what he used to be 5 years ago, but he's still a good football player. He's still a big, strong guy. I told people they had Albert Wilson. Albert Wilson's a fast, shifty kid. He can get open. Now, did I see them putting up 37 points on our defense? Come on, man. No, of course not. That's just that's a whole nother conversation. It's got to be had because it's inexcusable. Although we all knew they had, look, I told you guys they had weapons. I knew that they probably could put 20 points up on us. I didn't think they could put 37 up on us. That's ridiculous. Blowing a 28-14 lead, starting, basically going into towards the, 10-minute mark of the third quarter. You blew a 2-touchdown lead. You went on to only score another 3 points. And I'm not putting this on Carson Wentz. I don't think Carson Wentz had a great game. I think his game was a lot better than what it's been in previous weeks, and that's mostly due to the return of healthy players. But I'm not going to put that on Carson because when you put 31 points up on a team like Miami, who, like I said, they got weapons. They probably could put 20 points up on most teams in the NFL. You should still win the football game. When you're putting up 31 points, there's only a few other teams where you really got to scratch your head and wonder if it's enough to win. Miami shouldn't be one of those teams. As good as it is offensively, it blows my mind, man. I mean, it was apparent to me that we looked ahead of this game. I don't see how anyone can rationally come on here and think to themselves that we gave this a 100% effort. It was a rough spot to be in. I'm going to tell you right now, this was a very rough spot to be in. And that's what makes me smirk about some of these national media members that thought there was no way the Eagles could lose this game. Knowing that this was Thanksgiving week. So you're already going to have reductions in practice. And you're going up against a team that, hey, its offensive line is a shit show. But with that said, look, they got playmakers on that football team. They got a guy that he can rally people around him. He's an experienced quarterback. You're literally not going to show him a defensive concept he has not seen before. That's the shit that bothers me about this kind of stuff. We were ill prepared. The attitude around this game was less than ideal for people to go in there thinking that you were going to win a football game. Where, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't sleep on these 2 games against the Giants. I don't think the Giants have quit on their season yet. I don't think they give a shit about getting the number 1 pick. I don't think they care about being in consideration for the number 1 pick. Let's all know Cincinnati's going to probably have that number 1 pick, but still, I don't think they care about that because they already got their quarterback. They got the guy that they think is the billing for their quarterback. So they're not worried about that. They know they're going to probably have a top 10 pick, so they're going to get a top 10 level talent out of the draft. So they're going to give it their all against us these 2 games. I would not sleep on the Giants game next week. I mean, does this help? Sure, because I'm telling you right now, Doug Pederson's coaching, his ass is on the line. I'll be honest with you. I don't even think it matters if they go and win 3 out of the next 4. I don't think that's enough. I don't think 8-8 is enough to save your job. I don't. I'm not saying that I would fire Doug Pederson right away, but I'm sorry. The conversation's got to be had. I mean, how much longer of a runway are you going to give the guy? I know that generally speaking, it's hard to fire a guy within the first 3 years after they win a Super Bowl, but man, this is Philadelphia, and it's pretty easy to see where the ship's being righted. And I got to ask, what has he done to manage football games and to make life easier on the young quarterback? We went up 28-14 and didn't think about trying to control time of possession, trying to limit the amount of opportunities that Ryan Fitzpatrick would have to score. Now, don't get me wrong, there were some things in there that have to do with lack of seizing opportunity on our part. Zach Ertz's drop, a missed field goal, like those things certainly play into things. But nonetheless, when someone asked me, do I think it was possible if Ryan Fitzpatrick could throw 4 touchdowns? I didn't think it was impossible. I thought that Doug Pederson would be smart enough to try to control the time of possession, though. I thought he would be. I mean, we talk about this running game. What's the point of gaining the lead if you still don't run it then? Like, I thought Miles Sanders had an overall really good game, and I thought there was a commitment to the run much more in the first half than I was expecting. But there were still issues with timing and rhythm with this offense because of Doug Pederson's play calling. I'm just going to be honest with you. The throwing on first down, going empty back set shit. Why? Why are you doing that? You have a guy who's struggling with his mechanics, and you're already putting him behind early in downs. That's not how you handle the situation, especially against competition that should build his confidence. Look, I'm not going to take anything away from Miami's offense. I warned them, outside of their offensive line, there were playmakers. Their running game is atrocious. They can make plays in the passing game. Devante Parker is a special talent. Albert Wilson is a fast, shifty slot guy. Allen Hurns is a respectable number 2. He's not great. He's not a guy like if Parker can't go that you fear per se, but he can make catches. He can make conversions. Like, you can't completely sleep on the kid. I'm at a loss for words for just how disorganized this coaching staff is. And look, Jim Schwartz's effort here was like, there's no way you should have given up 37 points. That can't be overlooked. But at the same time, man, you kind of expected the defense somewhere along the season was going to have another letdown. I mean, it's almost impossible to keep going forward playing that level of football all the way through. I just, at this point, guys, I don't know where you go without this team catching a hot streak these last 4 games and righting the ship. I just don't see where you go with this. Even winning the next 4 games, it's a 9-7 season. I know things were not ideal this season. I know we took a lot of injuries. I know the receiving corps was really decimated. The weapons around Carson Wentz were just not that great this year. 9-7 though. If you look at our schedule, it was had really tough patches. That 6-game patch we just got through was bad. No way we should have dropped this game to Miami though. Now we're starting to get into things that they're different. And I'm sorry, without Jordan Howard on the football field, this offense isn't the same. There's no identity. There's no toughness. It's not good. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought Alshon Jeffrey had a hell of a game. I thought Nelson Aguilar kind of stepped up. I can't put this on Aguilar. I mean, yeah, he had the one really stupid penalty in this game, but I mean, his hands weren't an issue this game because we utilized them into something that's more familiar for him. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, I thought, I would like to see him get a little more built-in plays for him, but nonetheless, I thought, when he had his opportunities, he made the most of them in this game. They were pretty limited. I don't get the insistence on continuously trying to bring in players like Mac Hollins to block. Number one, it's obvious, man. If you keep bringing Mac Hollins in a blocking place, you're tipping your damn hand. Take this kid off the fucking field. You can't tell me that guys that are fucking 6'2", 225 can't block. I'm pretty damn sure J.J. Arcega-Whiteside He'd be coached up the block. He's physical enough to do it. We've got to quit doing that type of shit. It's so obvious what you're doing when you do that. I know it's a running play just by looking and seeing if he's on the field. It gets really obvious. It'd be great if we were using him more for fakes and then using his deep speed, but we don't do that. So we become predictable when he's on the field. This coaching staff, man, I'm sorry, but I try to stay rational about situations, and I'm not calling for his head right this second. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to be Doug Pederson taking that podium. It ain't going to be good for him. He's about to find out about Philly. He was the backup here. He started a few games before McNabb took the helm late in the season, but he never really got to experience the city, what he's about to experience. His first year here, he had a pass because he had a rookie quarterback. Second year, he won the Super Bowl. His third year, he still managed it together to make a push in the playoffs. Came down to a drop pass from really making a deep run. I think he's really going to feel it this year. And I don't know that if he can't salvage the season, looking at the play designs that he's throwing out there, the schemes, some of the shit really is on him. The banning of the running game, all that stuff really comes down to Doug Pederson. Miles Sanders looked good when he was running the ball. You had a 28-14 lead. You got Jay Ajayi. And look, Jay Ajayi is not like, I think he's he's not coming back next year. I highly doubt that. Let me walk that back for just a second. Some of what we're seeing with the lack of burst from Jay Ajayi could be just simply due to the fact that he's still getting his legs under him from being out of football so long. But there is some concern there that maybe he's just not the same player anymore, that these knee injuries are really starting to add up. And I do see that on the field where it does kind of look that way. Without Jordan Howard, guys, I don't trust this offense. With Doug Pederson calling the plays, I don't trust this offense. Although Carson Wentz still got some issues with working on his footwork. His footwork still didn't, I haven't looked at the all-22. I haven't had time to go into that yet, guys. So I'm not going to sit there and say definitively that he had a bad game with his mechanics again. I don't know. But I did see a handful of plays just from the eyes that looked like his footwork was probably off. So I don't know what Doug Pederson is doing for us at this point, guys. His play calling is not good. He's not living up to the billing of being a quarterback guru because we're seeing regression out of Carson Wentz's mechanics. Not his play. I thought his play was overall pretty good, but this isn't pretty easy secondary play against. I just can't see how you lose to this football team and things go back to being copacetic. I don't know, guys. That's all I got for y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts, guys. I'm not saying we need to fire Doug Pederson, but I think that conversation has to be had by the front office. I mean, I can't see how you keep letting this stuff slide. A lot of this is on coaching. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here, man. You know what? EAGLES. I'm going to tell you right now. This ain't good. This is just not. I don't even have words for it. I kind of had a feeling that this game was going to be tougher than it was, being billed as. I didn't see a loss coming, though. I thought that Ryan Fitzpatrick could make it interesting. You get the second half kick, everything works in your favor. You go up 28-14. You still find a way to lose the game. It's unacceptable. This is unacceptable.